I feel the spirit moving in me. I feel the spirit moving in me.
Well, this talk is titled Beyond the Veil, Transforming Self-Doubt. And before I started, I want to make sure that all of you have a card like this and a pencil. And if you don't have one or either or both of these things, you should raise your hand and we'll make sure you have it, because you're going to want to have it towards the end of the service. Good. Wow, we did a good job of getting that stuff passed out today. Thank you, Emily. Well, back in the old days, back in 1979, doesn't seem so long ago to me, but maybe for some people, you're ancient. It was my first year teaching 7th and 8th grade. And the only job that was available at the time was teaching 8th grade science and PE. And I have to say, I didn't know anything about either one of them. I barely got through PE classes, and I never took any advanced science classes in college. But the only job that was open in a district that offered me a job was teaching 7th and 8th grade, so I took it. And walked into that classroom not knowing what in the world I was doing, and was about a week ahead of my students in PE and months behind, or in science, and months behind my kids in PE. And so in the area that I was in Pacifica, California, these kids had no respect for me whatsoever. In fact, there were 5 kids in my class that were bigger than I was, and they used to challenge me physically, right? And they'd walk up to me and blow themselves up and, get out of the way, Mr. Tinsley. And one of the kids even challenged me to box him, right? And in the equipment room for my PE class, I had boxing gloves. But I wasn't about to put them on to box some kid. So I'm feeling, go ahead and sit right here, ladies. This is fine. We can put you right here. There you go. Sure. You got a front row seat. And so I went home one weekend, and I'm like doubting myself. How am I going to do this job? How am I going to be an effective teacher in this class when I didn't really know much of anything about either one of these subjects? And how can I get their attention? How can I win them over? How can I befriend them? And so I had an idea. And so the next Monday morning, I piled my exhibit desk in front of the classroom with rocks. Well, not quite like that. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. But there was a pile of rocks on my desk about like this. And I'm showing, it's a science class, so I'm showing my students the different rocks and the composition of what's in them and how much quartz they were and how strong they were. And as I'm talking to my class, I'm building this little structure out of the rocks. And what it was the rocks that build up, and there's a gap here, and then I put the largest rock across the top of the gap. And as I'm explaining all this to them, I took hold of the rock, and I said, now watch this is really interesting. And I went, ah, bam! And I broke that rock, 3 inches of rock, plus 3 or 4 of the rocks below it. And what they didn't know was that I was a black belt in karate. And I had been teaching karate for a number of years, and I love to break stuff. I've broken boards, I've kicked through boards like you see people do. I've broken layers of boards. And and before I did all this, I have to say too, I had the kids stand up in the back of the class. I had a huge class, and I had them put goggles on, right? So they had no idea what was happening, but of course that was to protect them for any shatters of the rocks that I knew was going to fly. And my class was dead silent. And the word spread like wildfire about what I had done. And all of my classes wanted me to show them what I did. And it's like, well, I did it once, and that was enough. And nobody ever disrespected me again. So, what self-doubt do you have? Do you have self-doubt? Do you question your abilities? Are you afraid of failure in some way? Is there a part of you that sometimes feels like you're not worthy? Are you afraid of rejection? Do you ever compare yourself to other people? I know you do, because we all do, right? And I think it comes from that part of us that has a little bit of self-doubt, doubts our potential, doubts who we are. And do you minimize your success? So I invite you into that space to think about the areas in your life where perhaps you experience some self-doubt. Jim Carrey doubted himself. Jim Carrey is a man who can stretch his face further than anyone could have thought possible. Now picture this. A young Jim, not yet the rubber-faced comic that we know and love, but a kid bigger than his collection of rejection audition papers that he got. Jim once said, "I practiced making faces in the mirror, which would drive my mother crazy. She would say, 'Stop it! Your face is going to stay stuck like that.'" Little did she know that Jim was rehearsing for a future where his face would be his fortune. Now, would you expect a guy like Jim, with a knack for comedy and a guy who oozes confidence, to have a self-doubting idea in his head? Yeah, you know, at the height of his celebrity in the 1990s, when he did mega hits like Ace Ventura or The Mask, or they were dominating the box office. But behind the scenes, Jim was secretly grappling with intense self-doubt. Despite achieving massive success and that brought laughter to millions of people, and to us too, yeah? He agonized over feeling self-doubt, over feeling like he was a fraud. He says that he would wake up plagued by dark thoughts gripping at him. Things like, "Oh, it's only a matter of time before Hollywood realizes that you have no talent, Jim." He was convinced that it was all an elaborate scam, and that someday people are going to know that he was a fraud. Now you see, even comical superstars struggle with self-doubt, with fear. But the good news is that just like Jim, we too can overcome self-doubt by honoring our talents, by being aware of our abilities, and by some of the principles we're going to talk about today. We can change our thinking and change our lives. Today, we're going to lift the veil of self-doubt so that we can illuminate the path to our inner light, to the essence of who we are, to the truth of who you are. Yeah? Anybody up for that? Right, because I know in the human condition, we all face this kind of stuff. It might not be something we outwardly talk about it, as Jim Carrey does, but we have those seeds of doubt which keep us from being the powerful emissaries of light and truth and power that we are. We've been talking about the Bhagavad Gita, and both Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita and Jim Carrey both experience self-doubt. And so what we've been studying the Bhagavad Gita for a number of weeks now, and one of the things that comes through this amazing teaching is that we can move through our self-doubt in the same way Arjuna does in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, here's Arjuna, this amazing warrior. He's on the brink of a colossal battle, and he finds himself chained by self-doubt. Here's a warrior, unmatched in skill, and suddenly questioning everything. Should I fight? Why should I fight? What's the point of it all? You know, this story in the Bhagavad Gita isn't just a story about a war. It appears that way if you read it for face value. But the truth of it is, it's the battle that happens inside of us, about standing up for the truth of who we are, about having a spiritual practice that transforms our lives, and going for that, making that a priority, standing up and battling the thoughts, the feelings, the doubts that we have, that we're not worthy of being good enough, that we're not worthy of being successful. Arjuna is every one of us. It's about facing the challenges that we have that keep us from being these magnificent expressions of life and light and truth and power. Now, if we zoom forward a few millennia to Jim Carrey, we see a man whose boundless energy has filled the world with laughter. Yet beneath the mask of comedy, Jim faced his own Goliath, self-doubt. Despite his fame, the accolades, the success, Jim wrestled with self-doubt. He said, do I deserve this? Am I really this funny? And like Arjuna, Jim stared into the abyss of his soul and questioned his worth. Did you ever do that? And you know, it's not a bad thing. It's actually good that we look, right? Because this is where our strength is buried beneath the self-doubt. And when we call it forward, say, oh, I see you there, then we can rise above it, right? If we don't rise above it, we push it down and we blame other people, we get angry at other people, we stand in this facade of who we are instead of living our light and being the truth of who we are. You know, self-doubt, even though it's a shared experience, can have amazing, horrible, adverse effects on our lives. Self-doubt hinders our personal growth, right? Self-doubt increases anxiety and stress. Self-doubt causes procrastination and reduced productivity. Self-doubt, because we try and overcome it, creates perfectionism, which leads to burnout. Because we're doubting ourselves and not being the truth and the essence of who we are. So, how did Jim Carrey overcome his self-doubt? He openly explored it. He talked about it. He practiced, believe it or not, mindfulness and meditation. And that was part of his spiritual practice, which is a lot of who he is. And through this introspection, he found the tools for gaining clarity, realizing the truth that's within him. And these practices helped him to quiet his mind, to reduce anxiety, to find comfort and confront the underlying causes of his self-doubt. Another thing that Jim did that I think is just amazing was he was a painter. He is a painter. And he turned painting into an art form and an expression exploring his inner world. If you look at his paintings, and I have a couple of them here, the first one is Stephen Hawking, and the second one says, "And in the moment, he was freed from the prison of becoming." And you see the prison bars, and you see a finger sticking out with a butterfly on it, right? And I think, wasn't that who he felt he was? That he was behind those bars with that self-doubt. And he stuck his finger out and to experience something different, to experience an awakening that is true for him and true for all of us. Jim Carrey also publicly discussed his issue. He didn't keep it a secret. He publicly admitted, "Hey, I got some issues. I got some doubts. I got some fears in spite of all of this." And he spoke about it, from around the country on talk shows. He spoke about it in his routine. And he just put it out there. As if, I am consciously navigating this path of self-doubt. And he offered understanding to other people so that they could see his journey and see what he accomplished. And he's sharing that with us too, to say you too can rise above the self-doubt that you feel. Jim Carrey also spent time in spiritual reflection. He looked into spiritual principles. He explored concepts of his identity. He looked into consciousness, and he wanted to understand, how can I change my thinking? How can I change my experience? He realized that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, and he realized I need to expand who I am, to embrace all that I am. He famously said that he wished everyone could be rich and famous to realize that it's not the answer to everything. Because often we think that. Oh, if I only had so much money. Oh, if I only had so much talent. But he's saying it doesn't matter. I love this because it shows that he had a shift in his values and the understanding that true contentment is an inside job. It doesn't matter what you have on the outside world. It's what you have in here that brings forth your power. This is where we come to life, where we become that butterfly, where we become expansive and experience and express all that we are. Jim Carrey also practiced self-acceptance and authenticity. He wasn't trying to be the big star. He is real. If you ever see him on a show where he's just sitting there being himself, you realize, wow, he's just like me. He has doubts and he has feelings, and he is authentic about it, and that leads to his development. And he didn't get caught up in the criticism or the praise from his entertainment career. He's like, I'm just a person. And we know that eliminating self-doubt is a gradual process. And I hope, maybe if you're like me, you've been working on this your whole life, right? We all have some kind of stuff that we're working on. And so what I hope to bring to light for you today is to help you determine what is it that that an area of your life where you are doubting yourself, and to tap into that inner light so that you can experience the fullness of who you are. And to realize, this is a process. So how can we transform self-doubt into self-realization? And I have 5 ways. And the first one is to recognize and release self-doubt. Some people think, well, I don't want to focus on that because it's going to expand. And I get that. But with self-doubt, we want to kind of narrow down, what is it? What is it? What is the doubtful thoughts that you have, that we have, that I have, that I can transform? Because spiritual growth doesn't happen without realization. Some people think that you can say a magic word or you can wave a magic wand and boom, it's gone, right? But it takes work, and that's probably why the spiritual path isn't one that people are filling churches with, even though we got a pretty doggone good group of people here today. That, most people are looking for the easy path. Right? And they want to believe in something that's some magical, something outside themselves that's going to magically transform them. And one of the beautiful teachings about this practice that we're a part of in Unity and New Thought is that we know that changing our thinking changes our life. And so much about what we're about is, how can I change my thinking to experience the fullness of who I am? How can I get past my doubts and my fears to be all that I am? And so the first thing we want to do is recognize, okay, so I have self-doubting thoughts. Just kind of breathe into that. We don't have to chase it away or be angry with it, but we can say to it, thank you for sharing. And to mean that genuinely, thank you. Thank you for letting me see that. And now I'm letting that thought go. So when that thought comes up again and says, you're not good enough, you can't do it, or whatever, oh, thank you. But, I'm choosing not to focus on that. I'm choosing not to have that be my motivation. So when we realize that these self-doubts are just clouds that are coming through our experience, and we just kind of let them go instead of hanging on to them and worrying about them, just kind of let it go. And realize that, you have the power to choose your thoughts. You have the power to choose what you think about. And what you spend the predominance of your time thinking about is going to be the thoughts that show up the most in your life. So when that self-doubt comes up, recognize it and let it go. And the second thing we can do, oops, it's still there, is to use affirmations and positive self-talk. And I think it's so important to wake up in the morning and maybe not look in the mirror right away, but or maybe it is to look in the mirror right away and say, I love you. You are so beautiful. You are so handsome. You are so capable. You are so wise. You are so amazing. You are incredible. You are a perfect expression of the light. Yes? Right? And to remind ourselves of that. And if only we would do that for each other, too, and say to each other, you are so amazing, and I just love you. Right? Because when we do that to ourselves and when we say it to each other, what happens? It becomes true, right? Because that is the truth of us, and we start to believe it. And when we start to believe it, then we act from that, and we change our thinking, and we change our lives. Affirmations are positive statements that have the power to change us. They're like packing in the truth, the cement that is the truth of who we are. The affirmations build our consciousness. And we want to fill ourselves up with powerful words and powerful thoughts so we can experience that. And so much about what we do in this philosophy of spirituality is to be aware of our thoughts, be aware of what we say, right? When we find ourselves saying something negative to somebody or to ourselves, just to realize it and let it go. And the next thing I keep doing that. Next thing we can do, I'm used to flipping the slides every time, but I kept it all on one this time because I wanted to keep focused. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to seek feedback and support. And I've discovered that only certain people can do that for me, right? Because some people I can go and I can tell them, I'm really working on my self-doubt, and they'll go, oh, well, you sure should, because there's some stuff about you I'd like to change, right? Or they go, oh, it makes me think about all of my problems when you talk about stuff like that. I realize that I'm just a hurt soul, and I really came here for you to help me and to love me and give me some powerful statements. Ever meet anybody like that? You try and tell them your stuff, and all of a sudden they're off on their own story, right? It's like, that's great. I honor those people, but that's not the person I'm going to share my spiritual growth with, right? My spiritual challenges. You want to find people that sincerely will listen to you, and people who will love you. You don't want somebody that reflects your self-doubt, right? And certainly those people are out there, right? Because it's almost like they got their claws out. They can't wait to dig their claws into some juicy something or other, right? And I don't want to be that juicy something or other. Not to them, anyway. So, we'll save that for another talk. But I like what an affirmation. I'm a juicy something or other. You can tell people, what did you learn at church today? Well, the minister talked about being a juicy something or other. And it's like, well, I like that idea. That's what we were affirming. I am a juicy something or other. So anyway, if you find somebody that and it may just be one person who can really support you and love you and encourage you on your path and hear you and say, you know what, I'm here for you. I know I see that in you. I see you for the amazing musician, the artist, the lover, the creator, the intellect, the poet, the writer that you are. I see you as that. And the next thing that we can do, I did it again. I might do it another time before. So journaling and self-reflection are another way that we can embrace, move past self-doubt. And we do that because we're being inquisitive, right? We're being reflective. And I have to admit, I'm not much of a journaling person. Whenever I've been in a class or something and somebody says, journal, it's like, no, I don't do that. But I do self-reflect a lot. I do look at, how did my day go? What did I say? How much was I in my truth? How much was I in my power? How much was I in my life, my light? Or was I being critical? Did I say something stupid on Sunday morning? Yeah, probably. But the whole idea on this path is to be reflective and to be aware of what's going on, and then work on how can I turn that around in positive ways so that I embrace the love and the light and the truth and the power that I am. And the last thing, but not the least, I did it again. I knew I had to do it one more time, is to celebrate small victories. Small victories are the things that we say and that we do, that you say and do, that are things that you're working on. For example, if you're a painter, put your paintings out that you're proud of where you can see them, right? Have them out on your counter so that every time you look at them, you go, wow, I am quite a painter, right? And not from an ego place, but from a creative place, to really embrace the truth of who you are, yeah? And if you're a writer, put your books out, put your poems out, put your letters out. If you're a creator of any kind, or there's a desire for you to do something, put things out where you can see it. If you've been given an award for something, put it out where you can see it. Don't put it in a box in the attic. Put it out where you can see it so you remember this area of value. You know, when I first came to this church almost 13 years ago, I met with a board and we had a interactive meeting together, and we had these cards, right? And we put in front of everybody, and we took these cards and then we passed them around, and everybody wrote something about each person on that card. And people said, I don't know where they came up with these ideas, but they said, I'm joyful, I'm funny. I would debate that. I'm strong. I'm love. I'm prayer. I am willingness. I'm passion. I'm open heart. I'm a friend. I'm wise. And I've kept this for 13 years in the cover of the notebook that I use every Sunday. Right? And thank you. You know, as a reminder, because we want to be reminded of the truth of who we are, because that helps us to stand in our power and to be a creative individual. So engaging in these practices, I want to show this slide. I had fun making this slide here. Here's Arjuna and Jim Carrey in a chariot. You know, when we are embracing our strength, it's like we're empowering ourselves and we're living from this place of fun and from power and from joy. Wow, isn't that what we want? Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what the nature within you knows that you are? Yes. Right? I'm going to wait until y'all say yes. Okay, I know that you want that because I know it's true for you. Yes. Okay, now I'm starting to believe it. All right, take out this card and your pencil. And I want you to write, let's see, let's go this way. There it is. Okay, I want you to write on this card one self-doubt that's holding you back. I know, it's serious time. We've been having fun and games, but now it's time to get down to it. And I implore you to do this. And nobody look at somebody's next to them, right? This is only your business. So, you know, you might say, I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid of failure, or I'm afraid of rejection, or I'm afraid of financial disaster, you know. But really make it be a self-doubt that you have. I'm not worthy of love or peace or joy or prosperity. I compare myself to other people. And it just has to be one sentence. And I got the camera going, so I'm looking to see if anybody's looking at anybody else. This is just about you. And then on the other side, write one core strength or value that you have that's going to help you overcome that self-doubt. What is a core value of yours, a core strength that is working in you right now to overcome that self-doubt, that error belief? All right. You know, self-doubt is often the fertile soil from which self-knowledge blooms. You know, self-doubt isn't bad. It's just, it's a signpost on the way to enlightenment that says there's something that you need to look at here. Because it's like you're driving in your car and you got one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. And we learned in driver's ed, that's why you use one foot when you drive, right? So you can't put a foot on the brake and a foot on the gas. But I've seen people who drove that way, and the car's going like this all the time, right? And so take one foot and put it on the gas, right? Take that foot off the brake. Self-doubt is a brake that keeps you from moving forward, keeps you stuck in who you are or who you have been, because we're moving beyond that. And lastly, I have a blessing and an affirmation for you. And I say, may you unveil your inner light daily by boldly peering beyond the veil, or behind the veil of self-doubt. And in so doing, may you know your wholeness, your capacity, your intrinsic brilliance. And may you know your light and shine it wherever you are. And let's say our affirmation one time together. Together, as I release my self-doubt, I allow my inner light to shine brightly, guiding my path. And so it is. Namaste. So here come Robin and John, free and whole without self-doubt.
I am having self-doubt. I'm not sure what to do. Because I have 2 chants up here I brought.
Oh, okay.
I might have changed my mind on what I'm going to do
All
after
right.
listening to your talk. But I didn't tell John that, so he doesn't know what I'm thinking. Because he hasn't really learned how to read my mind yet.
It's something we're all working on.
Trying to read my mind?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll just...
You just go with your heart.
So, for the last 5 weeks, we've been exploring the Bhagavad Gita and the story of Krishna, Lord Krishna and Arjuna. And today, Lord Krishna was Jim Carrey, I think, or was he was the Arjuna in the story?
They're both us.
They're both us. And I found the beautiful chant, the great chant. Let's just do the Hare Krishna, okay? I thought he was going to talk about Krishna today, so... All right. But let's just do it anyway, because this is a chant that is 3 names for God. Hare, Krishna, and Rama. And Hare is another name for Vishnu, who is he who removes illusion. So let's just do this one a little bit. So John, if you want to guide us in some rhythm here. Hare Krishna. Okay, smells too fast. Let's see. Hare Krishna, like that. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Let's go a little faster, John. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Keep it going. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And to bring your awareness into the center of your beingness. Breathing in. Imagine that you're connecting with the spirit of truth within, with your inner Krishna, with the spirit of light, the Christ, the Buddha nature. Breathing in and breathing out. And imagine and know that even now, in this moment, there is a cleansing going on. That all of the doubt and the fear and the lack is being transformed into the light that you are. I invite you to breathe deeply into this awareness, into this knowingness. To see it, to feel it, to be it. To know that you are changed right now. All these old expired thoughts of lack and unworthiness, self-doubt, fade away. Maybe just into little specks that the universe absorbs, transforms. And to know and to see and to feel yourself as the light that you are. Endless, universal, transforming, powerful, beautiful, creative, delicious, juicy. Breathing in and breathing out. As I release my self-doubt, I allow my inner light to shine brightly, guiding my path. And let's take just a moment to absorb, to express this light in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. Giving thanks for who you are, for this magnificent expression of light and love. And as you continue to breathe deeply, begin to bring your awareness back to this moment and to open your eyes when you are ready. And so it is. Namaste.
I've done this song a couple of times here. And if you know it and remember it, please join with me in singing it. It's a song my late husband wrote about, getting rid of your procrastination and self-doubt. Now is the time. This is the day. And I'm on my way. I'm on my way. The time of my life. I'm feeling fine. Feeling my power. This is the hour. This is the hour. The time of my life. If I'm waiting for tomorrow to release this load of sorrow, then tomorrow comes, it turns into today. Well, when I'm waiting and I'm waiting, when I could be out creating the best, turning all my sorrow into play. Now is the time. This is the day. I'm on my way. Oh, I'm on my way. Time of my life. Oh, I'm feeling fine. Feeling my power. This is the hour. Oh, this is the hour. Time of my life. Well, if I'm waiting for direction in my journey toward perfection, and nothing less than right is right for me, well, then I'm waiting and I'm waiting when I could be out creating the best that I could ever want to be. Now is the time. This is the day. Oh, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. The time of my life. for a guru who will say, I always knew you, and tell me all I wanted so to know. Well, then I'm waiting and I'm waiting when I could be out creating, could be learning, could be loving, could be sowing, could be growing, could be finding out it's already so. Sorry about that. Now is the time. This is the day. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Time of my life. Oh, I'm feeling fine. Feeling my power. This is the hour. Whoa, this is the hour. The time of my life. It's the time of your life. Time of our life. Time of our life. When should we stop? How about now?
Robin Fisher and John Darling. One more time. Wow, it's interesting, the Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Any of those, maybe if you've been lucky enough to live near a Hare Krishna temple, like Culver City or other places, they usually have a vegetarian restaurant called Govinda's that's so good. They're vegetarian, but they're not shy about butter or salt or sugar, so pretty tasty food. And I'd go there and I'd come out and the guy would go, Hari Bol, which is another greeting they have. And I say, no, it wasn't Hari Bol. It was actually pretty tasty, so thank you. All right, okay. Anyway, the Prince of Rimshots over here backing me up here. All right, so now it's time for the announcements, and let's see what all we got going on here. Well, I'll push the button, and we'll just see what happens. Oh, well, we're on to the offering, and then we'll do the announcements. So this is where we get back if you feel so inclined to support this ministry. We're grateful for it. It keeps the lights on. It keeps our crew and our everything going here. So thank you. Thank you. It's great to be, and we just affirm the circulation. We know that these little magic pieces of green paper in our pockets are part of the whole. We render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. We render unto Washington what is Washington's, and we render unto God what is God's. So they'll be passing the basket, and you can be part of that circulation. We invite you to join in that. So our offering prayer is, we'll say this together, through a grateful giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. All right, they're going to pass the baskets around and play a little music. And if you're not here, we have a donate button on our website. We accept checks in the mail. So however you feel inclined to support this ministry, we certainly appreciate it. So we're blessed with beautiful music. We're blessed with beautiful words and beautiful concepts and beautiful love. And so we're so grateful to be here today, and the unity of Maui is grateful to receive these donations
It will go forth to keep this ministry going, and we also tithe on your tithes. So we give 10% to where Unity of Maui gets its spiritual nourishment. So we continue that flow of giving and receiving and acknowledging the abundance that's in the universe. So once again, with a grateful heart, we receive these blessings, and they will go forth to bless in so many other ways. Thank you. All right, so as we always mention at this time, if you'd like to bring flowers, you can bring some on a Sunday. You can sign up. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. Bring them on a Sunday. Not only do you help make the altar so beautiful, but you get to take them with you when you leave. No point in them sitting here all Sunday. All the rest of the week. So if you'd like to do that, like I say, the sign-up sheet in the back, and that's always a blessing. All right, let's see what else is happening. We got a sound bath meditation. Carrey Sawyer comes here and does amazing things with the singing bowls. That's definitely worth hearing and feeling shivers up your spine and all the wonderful things from that. So the next one's going to be on Saturday, February 17th, right here, and it's from 4 to 5. And it's free, but if you want to make a donation, that's certainly welcome. And you can either sit in the chairs, or if you'd rather bring a yoga mat or something, you're welcome to do that. We also have some exciting information about Easter that's coming up. So I'm going to turn this one over to Robin.
Yeah, let's get together and sing for Easter. If you would have this idea in your mind that you'd like to join our little singing group, our Easter Joy Singing Choir, we'll be starting rehearsals. I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I'll come back. When I come back, we'll start rehearsals. So it'll be right around the beginning of March. Easter is early this year. It's the end of March. There's a clipboard back there. Please sign up and let me know you're interested. And we're going to have a fun time. Yes.
We're going to make over the sanctuary so it'll look just like that, too. So it's really going to be awesome. You want to be here. And we got some news about our other musician, Marianne Anderson, who supports us a lot. She'll be performing with Jeff Hellner and Paul January for a jazz night. And that's coming up at the Empanada Lady right over on Vineyard Street in Wailuku. And that's going to be, this coming Saturday, February 10th from 6 to 8 in the evening. So Saturday, February 10th from 6 to 8, Empanada Lady Marianne's making music with her friends. And I'm sure next week we'll have another amazing talk from Reverend Blaine, as he always does. The Walk Your Talk is in the back if you want a copy of today's notes. And next week he's going to be taking us on another exciting journey. And this is where I turn it over to him, because he knows what he's doing and can fill us in on the excitement that's coming up.
Thanks, Adam. Let's give a hand to Adam. Adam always he lifts us up with a little bit of levity every Sunday. Thank you for what you bring and who you are. You're amazing. Oh, there's a great picture and poster of Marianne here. Marianne's in the back. Hi, Marianne. There's a poster and flyers in the back if you want to take home a reminder of that concert, which is next Saturday. So come join her and the amazing musicians she's playing with. And Marianne will be our featured musician the next 2 Sundays. Of course, her and Ames are always a part of our what we have here when they're here. And Marianne will be doing the music next week. And so that's going to be a lot of fun and exciting. And we're just going to have a great time. We are so blessed to have this amazing musical program that we have here. You know, I dreamed about stuff like this. Well, here it is. Woo! Sorry, what?
6 to 8.
Okay. Yep, 6 to 8 next Saturday. Very good. All right, and let's see. Yeah. So I want to tell you that today was the last day on our talk, Journey to the Self, the path of the Bhagavad Gita. And so it's been a great series. I hope you enjoyed it. And my next talk series is going to be on the 5 agreements. And you might go, well, I thought there was only 4. Well, in the meantime, since, it's been years since I did this on a Sunday series. Then there was only 4 agreements, and now there are 5. And so this will be a fun series. These Toltec truths, again, speak to our heart, and they're transforming truths that we can use in our lives, but change the way we think and experience the fullness of who we are. And that's kind of what it's all about and kind of what our message is about every Sunday morning. So join us right here next Sunday at 10 o'clock, and we'll explore the 5 agreements. And like Adam said, the walk your talk for today, these are my notes that I create for you so you can take home a piece of the message and remember what we talked about on Sunday morning and apply the steps to your life. And with all that being said, I don't think there's anything else. Band? We done it? Okay, well, why don't we stand and let's form a kind of a circle best we can around the outside of the chairs, and we'll say the prayer for protection, and then we'll sing together the peace song. So take a moment to find your way around. You don't need to hold hands just yet, but just to have that kind of distance between you, it works out really well. All right, and so for ourselves and for this ministry and for the world, let's affirm and pray together the prayer for protection, which begins, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you, friends. Thank you for being here today. Bless you out in Facebook land.
Where I live, there are rain.